Obituaries, a presentation of Curtis and Son Funeral Home. The North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361. Your Dignity Memorial Funeral Home for burials and cremations is Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Walter Florence Butler, age 78 of Sylacauga, will be Sunday at 2 p.m. from Risers Chapel Church, 1799 Church Road in Alpine. The Reverend Rodney Frost will officiate. Burial in the church cemetery. The station Saturday from 5 till 8 at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis and Son Funeral Home. Mr. Butler was born in Fayetteville. He was an avid fox hunter. In lieu of flowers, donations can be made to the Risers Chapel Memorial Fund, 6624 DeSoto Caverns Parkway, Alpine, Alabama, 35014. Online condolences at curtisandsonfh.com. Curtis and Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. Funeral service for Mary Lois Douglas Tyler, age 79 of Sylacauga, is today at 2 p.m. from the Chapel of Radley Smith Funeral Home, with the Reverends Rick Dearman and Brother Harold Maherg officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Mrs. Tyler died Wednesday, August 10th at Brookwood Medical Center. The station today, noon until 2 p.m. at the funeral home. Online memorials at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Graveside service for Mr. Robert Frank Bob Zajac, age 78 of Alexander City, is today at 10 a.m. from Hillview Memorial Park. Randy Anderson officiating. Mr. Zajac died Tuesday, August 9th at his residence. In lieu of flowers, the family requests contributions be made to Camp APSCA, P.O. Box 21, Jackson's Gap, Alabama, 36861. The memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleyfuneralhome.com, Radley Funeral Home directing. Graveside service for Donald Kenneth Riggleman, age 81, is today at Midway Memory Garden Cemetery. Mr. Riggleman died Tuesday, August 9th at Citizens Brookwood Medical Center in Talladega. He was a native and lifelong resident of the city of Talladega, a veteran of the U.S. Marines, and retired from the Talladega Police Department as a canine officer. Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home in Talladega will direct that service. Funeral service for Josephine Garrett Harris, age 79, is 1 o'clock today at Terry's Mortuary Chapel. Bishop David Norwood officiating. Interment in the Mount Sinai Cemetery. Online condolences at terrysmortuary.com. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary directing. Funeral service for Leslie Beatrice Wilson Garrett, 25, is 2 o'clock Saturday at Kingston Baptist Church. The Reverend Byron White is the pastor. The Reverend D'Angelo Perkins will officiate. Interment in the Midway Memory Gardens. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Online condolences at terrysmortuary.com. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary directing. Funeral service for Mr. Jonathan Blake Hughes, age 32 of Sylacauga, will be Saturday at noon from Pine Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Sylacauga. Burial in the Pine Grove Church Cemetery. Visitation today 1 until 8. The family hour from 6 until 8 at Community Funeral Home. The body will lie in state 1 hour prior to the service at the church on Saturday. Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Helen D. Bounds, age 59, of Pensacola, Florida, formerly of Talladega, will be held 2 o'clock Saturday at Sycamore Baptist Church with Pastor Brian Miller officiating. Burial in the Sycamore Baptist Church Cemetery. The body will lie in repose 2 hours prior to the service at the church. Goodson Funeral Home, Inc. in Anniston directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Peggy Sue Beavers, age 60, is Saturday at 2 o'clock from Rocky Mount Baptist Church with Dr. J.F. McKinney officiating. Interment in the church cemetery. The family receiving friends tonight, 5 until 6 at the funeral home, Sims Funeral Service, Talladega, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Lovey Bell Adair, age 66, is Saturday at 2 p.m. from Community Funeral Home Chapel in Sylacauga. The station is today 1 until 8 at the funeral home. The body will lie in state 1 hour prior to the service on Saturday as well. Mr. Adair, Mrs. Adair died on August the 6th, and Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga will direct that service. This obituary report presented by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. Your Dignity Memorial Funeral Home for burials and cremations is Curtis & Son Funeral Home, 256-245-4361, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.